Hello folks, how you doing? I've just done a video in which I expressed the fact that I was very disappointed in that woman that I thought was supposed to be my wife because of the fact that she wouldn't tell me, where she thought I was out of order. She got offended by me and she behaved differently towards me, but she wouldn't actually express that to me and she wouldn't tell me why. And if you are a loving person, then you need to be that. Well, okay. It's quite likely that in the early part of July, the latter part of June, that you would have sensed there was that. I tried so hard to make sure that I didn't express that because, I didn't think it was fair. At least to a certain degree. I didn't think it was fair. I wanted to be nice and reasonable and caring and considerate and all of that. Understanding that, okay, I was wrong about that. So, therefore, considering that, okay, maybe she had a good reason to believe I was wrong. Because if I was wrong about it, then I was wrong. So, okay. Yeah. But no, I mean, look, the reality is I sort of said it without saying it. But I certainly felt it at the time. That when it became apparent that she wasn't supposed to be the one, I was delighted. I was. I mean, that's why I didn't fall at that point in time, because it was a massive relief. I was absolutely overjoyed with the news that she wasn't the one, because to me, this, as I say, that would have been the thing. I didn't care less about the rest of it. Yeah, I didn't. The other stuff was okay. Not perfect, but okay. But the fact of where, I'll put it in a way that makes more sense. To me, with a wife now, I mean, I've been married before, married to someone who was a manic depressive, and it was horrendous. I'm not interested in just getting married to someone. I've said that before. And I have sort of said this before, but for a wife, I need a wife who understands the point about accountability, who understands the point about love and what love really is. And with love is about, sometimes you've got to say something which may put you in a doghouse. You've got to speak truth to someone, and that truth is going to be painful to that person, and that person may hit out at you. That may happen. You may actually even lose a good friend for a while because of that. But if you love that person, you will say what needs to be said, because their walk and them being right with God was far more important than you and what you got out of this. Well, certainly it's a case that with my relationship with my wife in the future, if she's not that person, it ain't going to work. Because if she has a problem with me and yet she won't communicate that with me, I don't think that's good in any way, shape or form, is it really? That's a really bad situation. And if she has that with someone else, then that's a really bad situation. Do I want it that I'm married to someone that when she sees someone who's been offended by, she acts cold towards that person? How am I supposed to act towards that person, therefore? Am I supposed to be cold towards that person because she is? How's that going to work? No, that's a situation. Well, for her, that's bad. And it's bad for our relationship because I'm now expected to have her back, and I'm expected to behave differently towards that person when she's around, or even when she isn't now, because now I've got to pretend that I've got a problem with this person because she has. No. That isn't good. I'm not. That's stupidity. No. I mean, look, in the early days of the relationship, maybe there'd be some of that because, yeah. Has the moulding of her and me been finished yet? Well, maybe not. But certainly going into it, you'd have to understand that needs to be sorted. That's something that isn't good enough in any way, shape or form. And as I say, if you see a Christian brother or sister walking on a path which is bad, at least if you think it's bad, then come on. Would I want to be married to someone who could point out to me that they think that someone is on the wrong path, and yet they will not point it out to that person? No. Not in any way, shape or form, because, that isn't loving at all. You're not saying anything because of the way that other people might look at you if you say something, and if that person takes offence to what you say. You might get told off by the leadership, and that's stopping you from helping that person to be on the right path. Yeah, right. Put it this way, if I was just starting to be with her and we weren't actually joined in marriage at that point in time, and I saw that in her, it'd be like, okay, you take care, bye bye. Ain't gonna work. I wish you well, but there's no way, shape or form you're ready. If this is the way you think things should be dealt with, no. And so there was panic in the last days at that stand, thinking, Father, are you kidding me? You're gonna, because I'm standing on this knowing that, okay, with you anything's possible, you could still do this, but if you're going to do this, it's quite likely I'm going to be joined with someone who is nowhere near ready. I'm going to be lumbered with this person. There's going to be an awful lot of forbearance having to be done here. With a wife, come on, there should be no forbearance at all with that. Should they? With a husband or wife, you have to forbear them? No, that should never happen. Forbearance is only something that should happen with people who you don't have to have contact with on a regular basis. You shouldn't have to forbear with a husband or wife. But that's what I saw in the last few days, that I would have to forbear with this person. And when it was over with, and I was relieved. Yeah. I mean, up until that point, certainly 2 weeks ago, I was still really hoping that was the case and really believing in that. But yeah. No, I mean, as I say, to me, it's really important that if I'm going to get married, it needs to be a relationship that raises the bar. It needs to be a relationship that is doing things according to his nature, according to his will. And I don't mean the devil, I mean God, Father God, Abba. It needs to be doing things according to his will. Because really, what was she doing things according to? It wasn't Father's will, it was the devil's will. If you look at what's actually going on, blocking somebody rather than actually communicating with that person, whose will is that? Is that God? No. The ability to communicate is, in a relationship, that's a must. It's not a should be, it's a must. It's absolutely. Yeah, if you can't communicate, then you're in trouble. I've already been in a marriage when I was in trouble. Yeah. So not again. No chance at all. Why would I want that again? There's levels of insanity in keep on going through the same crap again, and put yourself through it. I wouldn't go through it again. Simple as that. I'm not that person I was then. I've said about things like pulling together. Well, if you can't communicate, how are you going to pull together? And something so strong about accountability and being open and honest with each other, but also being honest with other people. As I say, if you see that someone's on the wrong path, be honest with them. Even if it means that your relationship with that person is over, okay. That's fine. Because what matters more? Does your relationship with that person matter more than their relationship with God? Matter more with them being on the right path? Because if that's the case, then what? Yeah, I can't back that. I can't pull in that way. So if she's pulling that way, then we'll be separate in that way. And that's not good. We're not pulling together in everything, are we? So yeah. As I said, again, it's not. I'm not trying to judge this person because she's in church. She's in that churchy system. She's not being taught. Well, of course she hasn't been taught. Yeah, it was only October, wasn't it, that I was basically told to leave because God wanted me to say something to the church, and what He wanted me to say to them is that they should be taught. They need to be taught to walk because they're not being taught to walk. So clearly, if she's not being taught to walk, well then, how can I expect her to be walking in the way that she should be walking? Yeah? I can't. But, yeah, that also means that, I wouldn't... But if a woman came to me in the future and said that she thinks she's supposed to be my wife, and she tells me she goes to a church, then... then I'd be saying, really? You, someone who goes to a church, think that you're going to be married to me? Yeah, no. Yeah. Sorry, sweetheart, but yeah. I'm not going to be persuaded easily if you're still going to a church, because I know what church does, and I know what church is, and I know what churchy people are like. And, yeah. A sorry state of affairs, really, for church is that this woman who I thought was supposed to be my wife, she impressed me. And she impressed me, even though she is still far, far, far too far away from where she needs to be. From where, the woman I'm supposed to be married with should be. Where? Yeah. Yeah, that isn't good, really, is it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as I say, this is a point, and this is a point that I can't make serious enough, really. This, I just keep saying this point about accountability. You have husbands and wives where the wife knows that the husband is going down the wrong path, and she won't say anything to him because she's trying to protect the marriage. And vice versa. Yeah. You call that love? How could you call that love in any way, shape or form? Yeah. I need a wife that if I am in our marriage at any point in time starting to go down the wrong path, that she'll be willing to lose me as a husband, as a preference, against me losing the relationship with God. What's more important? What should be more important to her? The path I'm on, or our relationship and the fact that we're together? If she thinks there's a danger, if she thinks that she can see that I'm on the wrong path and I don't seem to be taking notice, then if she's not willing to risk the marriage, then was there really any worth in that marriage? Could she ever really say that she loved me? Yeah. Let's say anyone who puts the marriage before everything is like, no. No, you can put the marriage before most things, absolutely. But before everything, no. No. Well, certainly, yeah. And it can happen at times. I've said already that there are some couples who need to actually split up, and if they're supposed to be together, God will bring them back together. And I think that is so bloody true. But if you're in one of those sort of relationships and God says to you, you need to say to the person, to your husband or wife, that you need to split up for a while. You need to make sure that you can get yourself right, she can get herself right, vice versa, that sort of thing. That takes an incredible amount of bravery to do that. It really does. Because the majority of people are going to be thinking, if I say that, this person is going to think I want a divorce, and they might leave me for good. And so I'd rather not say that, even though I know God is telling me to say that. I'd rather not say that. I'd rather just wait and see if things can sort themselves out. Isn't that what the church has been doing? People in the church have been doing with the church? Yeah, rather than go and find a new church, just waiting for 20, 30 years to see if things will just sort themselves out. Has it happened? No. If you're in a relationship where you've waited to see if things will sort themselves out, has it happened? No, because things don't just sort themselves out. That's the reality. If things are going wrong, and they're going wrong for a reason, that reason won't just sort itself out. The church needed to act. It didn't act. It could still act now, but I don't think it'll act. I don't think it will. And that's all down to people. That's all down to fear. And it's all down to lack of belief, really, where people just don't believe in God. But as I say, that's where we are. That's where we are. I can't blame the people in that situation, but certainly as this one is about, with regards to wife, yeah. Yeah, it's about raising the bar. We have to raise the bar. Because it's no good talking about the fact we need to be loving with people, but then not be loving. It's no good saying we need to be graceful and merciful, and then not be graceful and merciful. We've got to deal with that. We've got to deal with that to a new degree. Yeah, understanding that, yeah, the bar has been far too low. It's not about, us being heroes or anything. It's just raise the bar. and make sure you get people around you who will help you to raise the bar even higher. Yeah, ask Father for that degree of friends network who can help you to raise that bar even higher. As I said before, how high can the bar go? Can it go too high? No. It can never go too high. Now, that it can go to a height where other people may look at it and say, how can I ever reach that? But then you help them. You help them to understand how to reach it. Yeah. You don't do all of this because you're worth it. You don't do all this because you as a couple is worth it. You do all this because Father, Abba Father, is worth it. Because when it comes down to it, He did so much to have a relationship with you and to have a relationship with them. When He sent His Son, He raised the bar. And He raised the bar to such a level, to a sacrificial level. Yeah. That's the standard. That is the standard, and that's the standard that we're going to get to. So as I say, if you put your relationship with your husband or wife before your relationship with God, or before their relationship with God, then you failed. Your bar is set way too low. Yeah, if you won't speak out in case you are judged or anything else by the church, then again you failed. Because you set the bar too low. We're not going to be in a position where we're asked to do what Abraham was asked to do. To sacrifice his son. Exactly what Father did. We're not going to be in a position to do that. I don't believe so. Not in any way, shape or form. So whatever level we raise the bar to, we can never raise it higher than Father raised it. Since Abraham was willing to raise it. But that's the point, isn't it? If Abraham was willing to raise the bar to that point, then that's not too high a level, is it really? If he was willing to do that then, we should be willing to raise it higher than he did. Because the whole point of really moving forward is that we do better than people did in the past. So why is our level so incredibly low now? That's a question that needs to be answered, and yeah. Certainly, as I say, would I accept a wife whose bar was set that low? No. Not in any way, shape or form. And basically, put it this way, going back, when I said I was in a way delighted to find out she wasn't the one. Not for her, though. I wasn't delighted for her that she's not the one. Because for her to be the one, then her level would have to be higher. And the fact her level isn't, then I'm not pleased about it from her point of view. I would wish for her to be at a much, much higher level for her sake. So there you go. I'm going to leave it to it. You take care. God bless. I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.